GTA 6 just got a brand new story update, and it actually claimed to be true. We're going to be diving into all that today in this video, talking about Lucia's relationship status, having her baby, and we're also going to be diving into how the story update is going to be at the beginning of GTA 6 when the game arrives. So if you guys do enjoy videos like this on the channel, don't forget to like and subscribe for more daily awesome videos for like this. Now, it all starts on this page right here, and this is what it had to go on to say for the GTA 6 story. So it goes on to say, the story starts with a black screen where a stanza from a fictionalized poem inspired by the real-life Bonnie and Clyde poem appears in the background as we hear the natural ambience of the Leonida wilderness. The wind rustling through the trees and the forage of the faint sounds of the cars passing by. On the highway, the birds chirping, etc. Then it cuts to the shot of the prison exterior, with one in Lucia is currently incarcerated in, and the shots of the alternate between exterior and interior shots of the prison complex. All the while, a brief narration of Lucia is overlaid on the top as she discusses the nature of the relationship in humans and the concept of love. She talks about how powerful it can be and how easy it can be to use to do a good thing in the world, but also justify doing bad things as well. Not to mention, as the camera around the examine certain objects and also interact with the certain NPCs, just like RDR2. Once Lucia and the guard reach the admin building, Lucia is brought to Stephanie's office, and the guard removes her handcuffs and shackles and also leads her into the office, hereby where Stephanie's reading Lucia's file aloud. As she says, Stephanie reads the file as we learn and motions with her hand for Lucia to sit, as Lucia has convicted of what the originally charges were and the details of how their trial went. So she looks up at Lucia. Stephanie, Lucia, do you know why you're here? So parts of the story, kind of like what Rockstar Games did in the trailer, basically showing off the prison, or the girl prison where Lucia is actually incarcerated in, kind of shows us just Lucia in her cell room looking kind of at the window, kind of where all the other prisoners lie. And then it actually transforms to Lucia in Stephanie's office, saying, Stephanie says, Lucia, do you know why you're here? She says, bad luck, I guess. But in the story that we did not get to see for GTA 6, it actually has Lucia talking about the good times that she had in the world of GTA 6 State of Leonida. And then she also talked about the bad times. So she does want to change her life around into the good times, but she's also thinking of the bad things she did as well. So that's something we did not see in the story, which is going to, pretty much everything I read is going to occur at the beginning of the story. We also heard that they mentioned talking about how you can hear the wilderness and how the water streams. You can also hear the cars passing by. That's exactly what we're going to see in the beginning of the game. Not to mention, it will also go to a black screen starting into that all in all. So I feel like Lucia actually has lots of things happen before she reaches Stephanie's office. As we see, we heard that the cop takes her out, takes her handcuffs off, and takes her through the building to Stephanie's office. And I feel like before they actually get to Stephanie's office, the officer probably talks to her about why she's in here, the one that's bringing her to the office. And then I pretty much think that they take her handcuffs off. They kind of talk before they go in Stephanie's office. Like the officer says, just know if you say anything hurtful or commit a crime to Stephanie, I'm sure you'll be locked up for some time. And I'm sure they talk about something like that. But on the other end, that is something that we did not be able to hear when Rockstar Games actually did their trailer, which is quite interesting. We also heard from GTA Net, seeing a supposed GTA 6 leak on a massive Google Doc circulating, nothing better than that getting straight from the source, where a big chunk of it is also copied from. Check it out on their own GTA forum site, a very detailed concept by the Hoover69. So it came from the GTA forum site by Hoover69 on Twitter. That's where you can find the major story leak. So I thought I would show you guys where you could exactly find it, because I'm not going to show it in this video due to, reasons that, if this is totally real, Rockstar Games will probably go on a massive banning, strikes, termination thing like they've done in the past with GTA 6 leaks. We don't want that. We pretty much just analyze the leaks, confirm if they're real or fake. Well, this one ultimately is real. And we also heard from somebody else on Twitter talking about how it is exactly real. And this is coming from TGG. People keep saying there's GTA 6 leak spoilers, but I have not seen a single one. Michael, Legacy Killer HD, a trustable leaker. Oh, they're out there. Hopefully not obvious until after the release. Also a bit shocking that more than a few community members have an accurate knowledge of the major story beats. So yeah, if you're having a hard time finding the GTA 6 story, it is out there, and it is all confirmed on the GTA forum site running by the Hoofda69, who actually posted the realistic release story leaks. And these are 100% true because there was also gameplay footage confirming that Lucia was actually getting walked by the officer in their handcuffs. So before we saw that, the trailer just transpired saying, Lucia, you know why you're here. Bad luck, I guess, instead of the officer showing Lucia's handcuffs or even talking to her before she got to Stephanie's office. So there might be a chance where instead of a breakout by Jason, Lucia actually gets let out because of her good behavior. There could be something, because in instances, in real life, I'm sure a lot of you guys know this, in real life, if you do have a good behavior status in prison, you do get released early on good behavior. Now, it's not going to be really early, but it's going to be a few months early. It just kind of depends on how it all works out. So that's how that's going to work. Not to mention, more on the GTA 6 story. This is coming from No Source, GTA 6 plots and mechanics. And it all mentally goes on to say, first of all, this thread contains spoilers, so if you're not willing to receive any spoilers, I suggest you not continue reading this thread. So that's a big warning to you guys. If you guys don't want to see any spoilers, click off now. I posted this thread originally for GTA 6, but moderators insist dealing and deleting it for some reason. Without reaching or saying why, I won't be able to give it out. My sources of information, I completely understand everyone who's skeptical. I'm just not gonna do more of those to a friend told me about this. Believe me or not, I have a reliable source that worked on the game. I'm asking you to blindly believe that what I say, and this is why he's saying just he's not going to reveal anybody who gave him this information because it could ruin their career if they worked at Rockstar Games. I just want to let you guys know that. Now, I don't want to read the whole thing because I know it's going to be a lot of reading, so we're just going to kind of go over and I'll just be diving into the most basic parts. So, of course, the development and everything I say on this thread is a grain of salt, as the game is still under development and the information I'll provide here must have changed over time. I strongly suggest you set reminders to check this thread again in the future. Without further ado, let's get into it. So the plot details, I was surprised by a source when I was told that Lucia has a baby and she abandons it as well as before heading into the bank robbery and then getting arrested. So right there, right then, Lucia did have a baby, but she did abandon it and then before she went out to the robbery. So that is insane how Lucia had a kid and she abandoned it. That's probably something she's regretting as she's in prison, but just giving you guys a little bit of bits of point from the interest of her past. After a few later years, Lucia gets released from probation. She's picked up the prison by Jason, who's planning a robbery with her, as they fall in love with each other after some time. So Jason does ultimately go to the prison, but there's no breakout. He picks her up after her time is up, and then they gain to have a relationship, which is quite cool. And down below, in the very first mission of the game, you control Jason and you have to follow a plane that is about to land and carries a Russian drug dealer. Apparently, Jason meets the guy and starts a planned mission of steal the drugs. Of the drug stealing mission, they chase the police and drug fails into the ocean. As they follow the mission where they will dive in to retrieve it, the mechanics of the game, there are still new mechanics for detecting threats and valuable items around you. This is not a special ability like Franklin's ability to dive in as special handling. This new mechanic seems to be somewhat inspired by the Deadeye targeting with RDR2. The mechanic is revealed in Hank's Waffle dining robbery present in the leaked videos. Rockstar has also been focusing on every detailed mechanic searching places. This one seems to be also inspired by a mechanic. And then it transitions to the next article, which is another huge article that we're not going to read all of it, but I'm going to break down the biggest details as well. So between October 2016 or September 28, 2017, protagonist plot details, epilogue gameplay, details leaked. So without a doubt, the most interesting leak, we'll go back seeing how right it was the first time. No one gives a second thought how Rockstar released above the trailer, doing a few people that hang on. I already knew to this because of the massive leak earlier this year. This week, while I cannot find the original post of the Reddit user, Profession managed to post the contents onto the original leaker, seemed to go by the username Red Dead Insider. You play as a gang leader named Arthur. The biggest changes made in the game is you have possession, and if you remember possessions of correctly of the kind story starts, when you find out someone in your outlaw gang is a Pinkerton spy. The Pinkertons end up having you run through the most of the game to require lots of members of the game, such as Abigail, Little Jack, Marston, and others from the core mechanic of the game. Moving on, their kind of game plus like as we already had, and we ended up with Beecher's Hope, and of course the control to John Marston. So this is basically telling us back in 2016 what we were supposed to get in Red Dead Redemption 2. Now, I'll leave a link in the description if you guys are interested in checking this whole thing out and reading it all, but I just didn't want to bore you guys by just reading everything in it. So once again, I'll let you guys look at it for just a minute as we talk about. You can feel free to pause this video and the other videos if you guys want to see the whole story. And pretty much it's basically telling you that we were able to play as Jack Marston and we were able to play as Arthur, and then we were supposed to have a big change in the game with the posse, and the Pinkertons were able to have members such as the game. So we're able to play as Pinkertons, Abigail, Jack, and a whole lot of other gang members from the story until that was all cut and it was nowhere to be seen. So that kind of gives you guys a good idea of what that's about. But anyway, guys, that is all the information I got for you guys on this video today. That is the huge story that you probably didn't know about in GTA 6, and that's kind of what we're going to be able to talk about when the game officially arrives, or when we get some new trailers that Rockstar Games show off some of the cut content that we weren't able to see in trailer 1. But it kind of gives you guys a good backstory of how Lucia and Jason met and how she gives up her baby to the adoption agency, all because she wanted to do the Hank's Waffle robbery. And I can understand what Lucia is coming from. You know, the crime life is nowhere near for a baby, so maybe she wanted to be a good mother. And then pretty much we found out it's not a breakout of prison. Lucia actually gets let out by good behavior, and Jason and her have a relationship. So it seems like this game has took a plot twist of story, but that is the full story of everything we know so far in GTA 6. But like I said, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you guys did enjoy. Stay happy, healthy, and well. And I'll see you guys all later on the next video. And feel free to let me know in the comments down below was that story exactly how you thought was going to play out, or did you think it was going to be a different story? Feel free to let me know what you're thinking down there. Like I said, guys, thanks for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys all later on the next video.